Shalom unto the elect of the nation of Israel, which will consider the 144,000 and the 1/3 of so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American descent by the seed of thy father. And as always, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off giving all praises unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah Chodash. Secondly, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of great millstone that teach and that rule well today. And salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide, that's in the faith and all truth and sincerity day in and day out. Shalom. So basically, I'm just going to get into a quick lesson touching on the kingdom of heaven and who's it for. Okay, because us that's in the faith, okay, that come to the understanding of our heritage, that we are the princes of the power, which is known as Israel, Yashra Allah in the Hebrew, okay, meaning he, prince of God, or he, prince of power. And that's happening to be today the real Israelites, okay, which we will be called, so-called today, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those that descended out of that bloodline, once again, by the seed of thy father. And when it comes to the kingdom that's about to be established by who the world called Christ, which his name is Yahweh Shai in the Paleo Hebrew, second coming, he's coming back, okay, to bring salvation to the elect of the nation of Israel. And also, in the midst of that taking place when Yahweh Shai returned by the way of the chariots, what the world called UFOs, okay, which are the vehicles of the angels, and how Yahweh Shai is going to make his second appearance, and he's going to bring war to these heathen nations, okay, starting with the biblical Edomites, the so-called white race that's on top, okay, and that's going to take place at the peak of the Third World War. And like I say, in the midst of that, Yahweh Shai is going to bring war, and you're going to have missiles being launched. And as it prophesied, it's going to bring the devastation or destruction totally of America, okay, which is America is known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures. And out of that, Yahweh Shai is going to deliver the elect, okay, by the way of the chariots, beaming the elect up into the chariots, and the heathen nations that remain at that time going to be destroyed by those missiles, and including 2/3 of our people that's going to be destroyed at this time, okay. But to say all that, to get to the point, okay, once Yahweh Shai bring the salvation and the damnation of the nations, okay, when it comes to the elect being saved and 2/3 of our people being destroyed once again, and the heathens as well, okay, being judged by the way of those missiles, there's going to come a process of time when the kingdom is established, the kingdom of Israel in the land, okay, which, by the way, that land over there that's being occupied by the phonies over there, that land going to be destroyed by fire as well, okay, by the hands of Russia, okay. So Russia going to bring the damnation of the land of Israel and the land of America. But the difference is America never is going to be built back up. It's going to become an habitation for desert creatures, okay, once the fire dies down. And eventually, once Yahweh Shai bring the elect back down on the earth, according to Revelation chapter 21, New Jerusalem, okay, coming out of the heavens, okay, once us or the hopeful elect come out of those chariots, okay, we're going to take over our land again, because that land is going to be built after the nuclear destruction by the ways of the heathens that remain at that time, okay, mainly the elites of Esau, Edom, as they're going to be in their retreats, and they're going to go into captivity, okay, all these nations. But you have talks, and amongst Israel and these Christians, okay, claiming that when it comes to the kingdom of the Heavenly Father and the Son, that not only Israel is going to be inhabited, that kingdom, by all nations. That's a lie. Okay? When Yahushua set up the kingdom, which is by default the kingdom of Israel, starting with the elect, the heathen nations that remain at that time, they're going to go into captivity. Okay? And that's what this lesson is all about. And I want to start off with Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. And it says, and in those days, these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And we come into that point in time. So this is future prophecy. Okay? So we come into the time, as I explained, the destruction of America, the destruction of the land of Israel. Okay? At the present of Yahushua's second coming, bringing the deliverance to the elect of the nation of Israel, the 144,000 and the 1/3 of that great multitude. And eventually our kingdom is going to be set up, okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And it says, and in those days, these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, meaning that our kingdom is not going to be shared, okay, with other nations. We're going to stand alone in that time, okay? Just as now, we're in, captivity under the curses, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 16, all the way throughout 68. Okay, how we're experiencing the curses. Okay, but the Lord gonna do a role reversal. Because in our kingdom, the curses that have been put on us, they're gonna be put on our enemies, man. Start with the biblical Edomites on down. Okay, all these nations are gonna go into captivity. There ain't gonna be no talk about them inheriting our kingdom. If their bloodline, they'll go back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by their father, them being Israelites, they're heathens, okay, according to their bloodlines of their father, okay? And they're going to go into captivity, or layman's term, slavery, okay? So ain't going to be no joint hand in hand with these nations in our kingdom, man. They're going to go into hardcore captivity. I got to keep repeating that, man. Okay, because that's the judgment and the prophecy. And it says, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall be break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Okay, meaning that all these nations, okay, at this time, start with the biblical Edomites, they're going to go into captivity. Okay, the so-called white race, the Persians, which are Elam, or the East Indians, they're going to go into captivity. Okay, the Babylonians, okay, the Assyrians, okay, they're going to go into captivity. The Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs, the original Africans, the sons of Ham, the sons of Japhet, all these heathen nations, man, that remain at that time, they're going to go into slavery up under us, man. And the heathens that die in this lifetime, or during the time of the great judgment of America that's over here, or anywhere else, when the Lord brings judgment upon them, okay, those that die, they're going to come back in the kingdom, which is known as reincarnation, through their bloodline, to be servants, okay? And I got to say this as well. The 2/3 that die on this side, or in this lifetime, they're going to come back in the kingdom through the loins, or being the sons and daughters of the elect, okay, which prove reincarnation, okay? But our kingdom is not going to be shared with any other nation but the nation of Israel. And this scripture right here prove it, okay? And our kingdom is going to be an everlasting kingdom, because we're coming to the time, once the kingdom is established, 1,000-year period of Esau, Edom, and these heathen nations being in hardcore captivity. And after that 1,000-year period, the only nation that's going to be done away with, according to Obadiah 1:18, is the nation of Edom. They're going to be completely destroyed, the whole nation, okay, men, women, and the children, after they serve a 1,000-year period, okay? Because, because when it comes to these nations, all of them are our enemies. Start with the so-called white race, okay, the Edomites. Let me get this. So we're set up next to rule and no other. Ain't gonna be no, like I say, other nations being partakers in our kingdom when it comes to them uh, um being joint rulerships with us. Nah, they're gonna be slaves. Let me get Second Esdras chapter 6, starting off at verse 54. And it says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord over all thy creatures, him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Okay, because like you got these Christians talking about all us came from Adam. Okay, which is true. Okay, because when you go back into the time of Adam, you have three um classified of men when it comes to the nations. You had the sons of God, okay, which today are the Hebrew Israelites. Then you had the sons of men, okay, which today are these other nations. The second part of the category of men. Then you had the third part of the category of men, which is known as the sons of the wicked, which are the Edomites today. Okay, but we know through the process of time, the flood came, okay, and Noah, okay, which came from the bloodline of Adam, okay, and through Noah and his three sons, Shem, Japheth, and Ham. That's how you had the earth today repopulated, okay, and we always go into the bloodline that the Israelites, okay, came from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob through the bloodline of Shem, okay, and you have the Edomites as well, the Edomites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, okay, the Ishmaelites, the Assyrians, the Elamites, okay, all those heathen nations, they came from Shem, but out of that bloodline, only one nation was chosen, and that's the Israelites. And they're the sons of Japheth, which would make up the Hawaiians, the Samoans, okay, the uh, um, Hawaiian Samoans, the Aboriginals over there in those islands. Okay, they are the sons of Japheth. And the sons of Ham will be today the original Africans. Okay, such as the Egyptians, the original Egyptians. Okay, the Ethiopians, the North Africans. Okay, over there, Libya. Okay, Put. Okay, then you have Canaan, the South Africans today. Okay, cause I gotta explain it, cause you got these Christians and majority of the world thinking that all because all nations came from the bloodline of Adam through Noah and their three sons, they think that all us are equal. Okay, now the Lord chose once again whom thou hast chosen, the nation of Israel out of all bloodlines. Okay, from the bloodline of Shem, and it says, matter of fact, I'm gonna get let me get a precept of that. That's Deuteronomy chapter 32, starting at verse 7. And it says, remember the days of old and consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. And that's what the Lord doing now, by the way of setting up the prophets, okay? When it comes to Israel, we letting all nations know what their biblical nationality is and what their future is. Okay, we letting our people know that they are the chosen people, that we are the Israelites, and these other nations outside of Israel, okay, whatever nation they're from, start with the Edomites, okay, they're going to go into captivity. And it says, and that the kingdom is only for us, the Israelites. Verse 8, and when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. And it always been like that. Okay, ever since the time of the deliverance out of ancient Egypt, when Moses, okay, was set up to deliver the children of Israel out of Egypt. Okay, and what made us being of the lot, okay, the chosen people of Yahweh Shema Shai, besides the spirit, okay, that the Lord created ever since the beginning, that we're going to be the Lord's chosen people. The agreements, okay, when it comes to the covenants, okay, old and new, okay, the old covenant that was given to us by the way of Moses, which represent the law, statutes, and commandments, okay, and the new covenant as well, we represent the law, statutes, commandments, but in this time, in our inward part, once Yahweh Shai return and bring the deliverance to the elect, okay, that's when the law, statutes, commandments are going to be in our inward parts, okay, because the elect body is going to be changed once they go into those chariots, and that's for it's going to be immortality, okay, and we're going to come back here on the earth having extraterrestrial bodies, which the word terrestrial meaning of the land, okay, so we're going to have like superhuman bodies, okay, they're never going to die, and the law, statute, commandments, which is the new covenant, in our inward parts, and from there on out, all Israel going to be righteous, okay, once the 2/3 come back in the kingdom by being the seed of the elect, okay, and so that's only given to the nation of Israel, and you can read that in Jeremiah chapter 31, starting at verse 31, Hebrews 8, okay, the confirmed Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31, Hebrews 8 and 8, okay, so the new covenant is only for Israel, not all nations, okay, with these Christian speaking, or what the world's speaking, a Roman Cathologist, okay, and so the Lord separate the sons of Adam, okay, when it comes to these nations, the nations, and choose Israel, okay. So let me go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord over all thy creatures, of him come we all, the people also whom thou hast chosen. If we just read Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 7 through 8, okay, and that doesn't change. When Yahweh Shai came, he only came for the nation of Israel. Matthew the 1st chapter, verses 21, go into that. Okay, Acts the 5th chapter, verse 30. Okay, Romans the 9th chapter, just to name a couple of scriptures. And it says, verse 55, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Yeah, because the earth and creation was created for the nation of Israel. Okay, starting with Yahweh Shai and the elect, and on throughout, man, the whole nation of Israel. Okay, so this world was created for us to dominate, to have dominion. But due to our rebellious in these times and past, previous times, us going off against the Lord by serving these false gods, going at these heathenistic customs of these other nations, okay, bowing down to these false idols, okay, breaking the law, statutes, and commandments, the Lord punish us, okay. But the world and this earth was made for our sakes, man, to be the rule, and that's how it's going to be in the kingdom. And it says, verse 56, verse 56, as for the other people, which also came of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto the drop that falleth from a vessel. So basically, Yahweh Shema Shah said these other nations outside of Israel, they're insignificant. They're nothing. And that's going to be proven in due time once Yahweh Shah return and set up the kingdom of Israel. And these other nations, once again, going to go into captivity. Okay, going to prove they're insignificant. Because these nations was only created to be our servants. Okay, but like I said, due to our rebellions, the Lord put us on the bottom and raised up these other nations through prophecy, okay, and through judgment to be a punishment unto us. Okay, at this time, the Edomites and all these other nations that's in league with these elites, man. Okay, and everywhere Israel is scattered, because we're scattered amongst all nations under these other under these heathens, they have constantly oppressed us. Start with the Edomites, man. Okay, so ain't no way in hell the Lord gonna have a change of heart or gonna decide in the kingdom they're going to be equal with us. Okay, that's a false balance. Okay, just as we're down on this side and these other nations are over us, there's going to be a role reversal or opposite in the kingdom as well. Okay, we're going to be back on top and they're going to be back on the bottom. Okay, as it meant to be. And it says, verse 57, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lord over us and to devour us. Starting with these Edomites at this time. They ruling over us, okay? And like I say, right along with these heathens. Psalms, the 83rd chapter, go into that. And it says, verse 58, but we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess in heritage with the world? How long shall this endure? Okay, and it's only going to endure until Yahweh Shai return to bring the salvation or deliverance of the elect of the nation of Israel and bring down the rule of all these other nations, man. Okay, start with the Edomites, man. Okay, so that's it on that. Okay, so they're going to go into captivity. And we always were set up to be over these other nations. Let me get this. Deuteronomy chapter 7. So ain't no saving all these nations, man. You Israelites that want to go back into Christianity or join Vocab Malone, or you got so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, black Christians, okay? Those that's in Christianity coming against the Hebrew Israelites and going on Vocab Malone podcasts and, you know, trying to say that all nations can be saved, or they pushing that replacement theology, okay, which is called supersessionism, okay, that, you know, that God, the God of the Bible, done away with the original Israelites and now all nations are accepted. No, that's false, man. Only way that you can be accepted if your bloodline go back to Negro, Latino, and Native American descent, or Israelite descent by the seed of thy father, man. Okay? If not, hey, they're going to go into captivity. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. And it says, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. And the word holy means sanctified and also means separate. Okay, and what made us separate? The law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, matter of fact, let me go to Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. And it says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. So this was going into the law, statutes, commandments, the agreement that was given into the nation of Israel by the way of Moses. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great who have Yahweh Bashem Yahushai so nigh unto them, as the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, our God, is in all things that we call upon him for. Okay, so this show you right here that, you know, the law, statute, commandments separate us from these other nations, man. And once we on top, okay, these other nations, they're going to follow our ways, okay, because the law, statute, commandments, like I say, according to the new covenant, is going to be in our inward part. So once the kingdom is established, these nations are going to have to bow and show servitude and have to follow our ways, because the kingdom is going to be governed by the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, okay, by the way of the law, statutes, commandments, because we're all going to be made king and priests, okay. And it says back in Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So that's above all nations, man. Okay, because like I say, all these other nations, okay, start with the Edomites, all of them are going to go into captivity. Let me get that. And they're going to have to learn of our ways. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16. And it says, therefore all day, matter of fact, I started off at 15. And it says, why cries thou affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thy iniquity. Because that's due to us going off, okay? So the Lord put the affliction on us by the hands of our enemies, okay? And putting us under the curses, okay, which is punishment. But now we coming to the end of our punishment. And what's the proof of that? The Lord waking up the Israelites. And we coming back to our heritage and serving Yahweh Shem Shai, okay? Us are the hopeful elect. Because that's all that's going to be delivered at this time, the elect. And it says, because thy sins were increased, I have done these things unto thee. Okay, so that's the Lord punishing us. Verse 16. Therefore all they that devoured thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries. And what's another way of saying adversaries? Enemies. So it's going into these other nations. Because we just now prove that Israel is above all nations. Okay? And that these heathen nations are our enemies. And not just our enemies, but the enemies to the Lord too. Okay, that's why Yahweh shall come back to take them all down through the power of Yahweh, and we being joint heirs. Okay, starting with the Edomites, man. Therefore all they that devoured thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Okay, so that's going to be true justice, man. Okay, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds. And then when that's going to take place, once Yahweh Shai delivered the elect and our kingdom is established. Okay, we're in the process of that now, as the Lord raising up the elect, okay, by the way of his word. But it's going to come a physical salvation, okay? Then it's going to lead to a physical captivity, okay, of you heathens, after the destruction of this place in the process of time, okay, when we're going to set up the kingdom. And you nations going to serve us. And it says, because they call thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, who no man seeketh after. Yeah, because these other nations, they don't give a damn about us, man. It's only our people that want to try to save all nations. Okay, but when it comes to these heathens, they know that we their enemies. And that's why they come together, to keep us down. Okay, like I say, Psalms the 83rd chapter, starting with the biblical Edomites. Okay, when they had these summits, these meetings, these secret councils, okay, Esau is the head of it, but all these other nations in cahoots with him. Okay, they ain't league with them, man. Because all of them are our enemies. That's why all of them are going to go into captivity. Okay? So that's it on that. And then once our kingdom is established, they're going to have to learn of our ways to prove that when it comes to the kingdom, it ain't going to be all nations together and equal. Because we're the only ones that are going to inherit the new covenant and going to be immortal. Okay, we're going to be the gods once again on the earth. Okay, but these other nations, they're going to be mortals. Okay, they're going to live for a process of time. They're going to have to die, come back. And in the process of that, when they come back in the kingdom, they're going to have to still be servants. Okay, after, during that 1,000-year reign. Because like I said earlier, after the 1,000-year reign, the only nation that's going to be done away with are the Edomites. But after that, these other nations that's going to continue on to be mortal, that's going to die, they're going to have to come back in the kingdom time after time to learn our ways. Because our kingdom is going to be an everlasting kingdom. And the only ones that's going to be fully righteous to the max are the Israelites. So when these other nations go off in their mortal bodies, we're going to have the authority to execute judgment upon them. Okay? But they're going to have to learn our ways, man. As long as they take heed and be servitude, they're going to be all right. But if they don't, the Lord going to bring that judgment upon them by the way of us, of our authority, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. So let me get this and I'll get ready to close. This is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days, okay, the last days going into once our kingdom is established through Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, okay, under the authority of Yahweh. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. And the word mountain, okay, is symbolic in the scriptures for a government, okay? And that's what we're going to have in our kingdom, a ruling government, okay? And it says, and it shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above all the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So we're going to have the top kingdom, the only kingdom. All the nations that remain in that time, when it comes to their land mass, they're going to be serving to us, wherever we ruling at, man. Okay? And they're going to have to flow unto us. They're going to have to bring all their riches. Okay? Anything that they possess, we're going to possess, including them. And they're going to have to follow our ways. Okay? Or the law, statutes, commandments. And if they don't, they're going to be a penalty or judgment for that. And it says, and many shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. So that's how it's going to be in the kingdom. They're going to have to follow our ways, the law, statutes, commandments. For out of Zion shall go forth a law, and the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, from Jerusalem, okay, in the land of Israel. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. Yeah, so we're going to be judges. Okay, another way saying a God is a judge. And be us being the judges, okay, of the true judge, the top judge, Yahweh, and the son, Yahweh Shai, we're going to have that authority, man. Okay, when these nations, okay, when they don't want to take heed, they're going off, and we're going to execute that judgment upon them. And it says, by the way of the laws, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords and plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Yeah, so the weapons that, these nations have now, they ain't going to have that in the kingdom. Okay? Because you got, about a month ago, you had Bishop Nathaniel from the IUIC talking about after 1,000 years, the Edomites going to rise up and gather other nations, and they're going to get their weapons, possessions of weapons, and come against us again. And that's when the Lord going to completely destroy them. Now, this is the last time now. Okay, after the Third World War, and Yahweh Shai set up the kingdom, okay, the salvation of Israel, and set up the kingdom, these nations ain't going to learn war no more. They ain't going to come against us no more. Okay, because also part of having immortality, okay, what's going to come with that power is spiritual power. Okay, we're going to have the ability to control all elements, man. Okay, we're going to be like the superheroes here on the earth. So ain't no way they're going to be able to come back and gather themselves together to fight against us. After the 1,000-year reign, they're going to be totally in subjection, man. They're going to have to follow our ways. If not, they're going to be punished by that power, man. The power that Lord going to give us, man. Okay, that we going to have. Hey, remember, Israel, Yasharallah, meaning he prince of God, or he prince of power. Like I always say, man, ain't no way the Lord going to call us sons of gods or sons of power, and we ain't going to receive no power, man. Okay? So that's the type of power we're going to have. That these nations going to be frantic of, fear of, man, through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, so ain't going to be no equality in the kingdom. Okay, these nations are going to bow and serve us and follow our ways. And like I say, if not, there's going to be a judgment for that. And it says, they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So ain't gonna be no more wars. Okay? After this Third World War. Okay? All the weapons that remain at that time, we're gonna use that spiritual power to burn them up. Okay, for a amount of time. The scripture says was 7 years, which the word 7 means completion. So it's gonna be a amount of years that we're gonna go around. Okay, the world, gather up these heathen nations, put them in captivity. Okay, and the nation, then the weapons that remain at that time after the Third World War, okay, they're gonna be burned up, and the resources that these nations have now, okay, they have the the material to turn the weapons, and they're gonna use that same material instead of for weapons, for agriculture, okay, for slavery, okay. After they have to be the one to have to do, do hard labor, okay, by the way of agriculture, okay, to make the resources come about, okay, when it comes to, vegetables, the fruits, okay, certain, precious stones, gold, silver, the resources of the earth that take hard work to do, okay, to make it, to come about, okay, so they can gather it up, and they're gonna give it to us, man, okay, and whatever resources we have, and we're gonna turn it into good, okay, for our purpose, and not only just for our purpose, but for these heathens' sake as well, okay, because in our rulership ain't gonna be no wickedness, man. Okay, ain't gonna be no GMO food. Ain't gonna be no tainted water, pollution of the air. Okay, ain't gonna be no plastic. Ain't gonna be no the ecosystem dying off. Everything gonna function in its righteousness under the rule of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and us being joint heirs. And that what the better thing, the best thing that these heathens gonna receive. Okay, you know, like I said, but when they go off, of course we're gonna use our authority to punish them. Okay. And all these nations gonna get it, but the ones that's gonna get it the worst are you Edomites, man. Okay, you're gonna do hard labor, and you ain't gonna receive nothing. Okay, but a rod of iron across your head. Okay, a scepter. Okay, so that's it on that. Matter of fact, let me get that. Matter of fact, since because that's how it's gonna be in the kingdom. We're gonna rule you with a rod of iron. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. And he that overcometh and keep my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. So they don't sound like no equality. Okay. Us are the hopeful elect, okay, that we're doing to the end, keeping the word of Yahweh Bashim Shai, and being destined to be saved. Okay. The Lord gonna give us that rulership, man. Okay, we're gonna have a crown on our head, a scepter. We're gonna be sitting on thrones, okay, and fellowship and ruling with Yahweh Shai and giving out authority to these other nations. And when they go off, there's going to be a punishment for it. And it says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessel of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. Okay, so that's that authority. Okay, the rod of iron. Okay, and this symbolic, man. Okay, so imagine taking a rod of iron and smashing it against a vessel of a potter, okay, a clay, and that the vessel of the potter represent the nations, man. And it says they should be broken in shivers. Okay, so when they go off, man, we're gonna have that scepter, and we're gonna have power, okay, to use that the authority of the Lord, the judgment, okay, to punish them. That's what it's going into, man. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson here, and I pray that the lesson be edifying. Until the next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect. Shalom.